What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you some parallel content today. Yes, we are going to start creating parallel content on the channel, and I'm very excited about that. And as you'll probably see from the title of the video, it's not just parallel, but the Prime ecosystem as a whole. Parallel TCG, which is the trading card game, is just a small piece of what the Parallel team or the Prime, Echelon Prime Foundation is trying to build when it comes to this entire ecosystem. And I am very, very excited and figured it'd be worth doing a video, not as a deep dive, but more so like an intro video as to why I'm going all in on this. And I'll get to that in a second. But why it's just attracted me all of a sudden. So I will continue to do, or start to do content, regularly for Parallel and the Prime ecosystem as a whole. But this is just a little bit of a primer, and yes, pun intended. Now, again, I'll apologize for a little clickbaity of a title saying that I'm going all in. Don't get me wrong. I am buying some tokens and I'm planning on buying some cards. But when I say going all in, I'm talking about giving my most valuable resources, right? My time, my energy, my attention to this game, just because I love the TCG. And after listening to a couple of interviews and diving a little bit deeper into the ecosystem and the white paper, I'm just fascinated by what the Echelon Prime Foundation is trying to do. And the Parallel TCG game is awesome. And I'll get to Parallel Colony towards the end. So this is not, like I said, this is not a deep dive. This is more so of an intro video. Do expect some more content in the future. I'll probably do something where I do a little bit more of a deep dive into the white paper, actually give some thoughts on Parallel, the game itself, and then, we'll just see as things play out. There's obviously a new Planetfall expansion, which is really exciting, but I am still relatively new. Even though I've been playing this game for a couple months, I'm still relatively new to all of it and exploring and discovering myself. But the things that sold me on this, one, you got a fantastic game already, right? So before I knew anything about the ecosystem, I played the Parallel game. It was brought to my attention by a good friend of the channel, Darkest Night. Jumped into it, and having played Magic the Gathering in the past, it was very similar kind of vibe, just TCG, and I enjoyed it. Not to mention, I also love sci-fi, so I'm a fan of the lore, got really into the artwork, the themes, the different factions, and then on a recent podcast, actually heard the backstory behind all of the different parallels, I guess, and all the different factions that are a part of this and how they came to be and all that. And again, I can't wait for there to be a movie about this, right? So the game itself is fun. I find it enjoyable. I'm still working my way through the rookie missions, but overall, it's been fantastic. It's been a fun thing, and it also helps to have friends who play the game, so people to kind of help onboard you, or onboard me, I should say. And at the same time, right, have people to play with as you go along. So having a solid game just to get started was one, right? Number two is the token pump, token price pumping was definitely another thing that caught my attention. But really, it's digging further into the Prime ecosystem and understanding the Prime token as a whole. So again, we're at such an interesting place with play to earn that there's so many different models out there. If you're new to this channel, you probably don't know or may have seen that I cover a lot of Splinterlands, and I'm fascinated by the game economy of Splinterlands. So I'm just fascinated by economies in general. That's kind of a little bit of my background, and I wanted to be able to jump in to something that was not completely different than what I've known with things like Splinterlands, but that approached the play to earn aspect and the sustainability of that play to earn aspect, right? The tokenomics of it all. It approached it in a slightly different way that I think has a lot of potential for the future to not just help out or not just be successful for the Parallel TCG game, but any other games that are built on this kind of Echelon Prime, Echelon Prime Foundation, user-based ecosystem, whatever you want to call it, right? So ultimately, it gets me excited about the future and what can be built on here, just because the tokenomics for this are, again, slightly different. Every project has its own kind of unique things, but there's already been so much utility given to the Prime token that, at the end of the day, I'm just really a big fan of how they have tried to give a ton of utility and what they have planned for the future. So speaking of, this will be the third thing, and I'll wrap up here. The third thing is something that they do have coming down the pipeline. And this is probably what really got me very excited as somebody who follows a lot of tech trends and definitely AI. Hearing more about Parallel Colony. Now, the interview that I heard, or the podcast episode that I heard, was on DeFi Dad. So shout out to DeFi Dad. It was from like 3 months ago from the recording of this video, or whenever I end up posting it. So it wasn't something recent, but came across my radar. I listened to it. Got to know more about the lore, got to know more about the backstory. The team seems to be well funded, right? That's actually part of part 2. And then they talked about Parallel Colony. And for me, I was just like, whoa, this is fascinating. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of what Parallel Colony is. Just know that they're trying to blend gaming, I should say, gaming and AI, right? They're using, or it's powered by OpenAI. You can go sign up for the waitlist now. And some of the stories coming out of what they're doing in a little 14-person sandbox right now, right? So the basic premise is there's 14 people, I think, testing this out. You have an avatar that lives in a mining colony, and you can kind of just give it suggestions and it plays on its own. Think of like The Sims, but like with modern day AI, and being able to interact with that and give it suggestions, but it's not necessarily going to listen to you. And it's just so cutting edge, so pioneering in the space, and I'm just absolutely fascinated by it. So I don't know what happens here. Again, a lot of stuff that I will talk about probably when it comes to Parallel and the Prime token is going to dig into the economics of it, and the ecosystem as a whole. But like I said, this is a gaming channel. I don't really want to get into the financial stuff. I'm not going to sit here and make predictions, although I will say, if you haven't figured out by now, I am very bullish on this project. I'm very excited about it. I don't know what that translates to from for like a bull run all-time high for Prime, but I do know that I want to be holding Prime because I want to be participating in the ecosystem for all the cool things that they have, all the syncs that they have for the token, and to help grow my account, grow everything that I'm trying to do within the game, and then hopefully future games within the ecosystem. But I'll go ahead and cut this here. This is just a little bit of a primer video. Do expect some new things around Parallel and around the Prime ecosystem. And if there is anything that you want me to dig into specifically, please do let me know. But I will say, just as a final disclaimer, as I've said already, I am still relatively new. So a lot of the stuff that I am learning, I'm learning along the way. I apologize if I get something wrong. That's not my intention. It's just, I'm really excited. And I think that there is a lot to be said about where this project is right now at this point in the market cycle and where it could go in 2024 and beyond. But that being said, that's why we're creating content, because it has taken my attention by storm, and I cannot wait to play more, learn more, and just do more with the ecosystem as a whole. So that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.